While folks trickle in, we can just kind of get started. Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you for joining our first meeting of the year. We're super excited to have you in space and just to share what we have in store for this 2024 year. So just to start off, to introduce myself, I'm Brianna. I am the Membership Engagement and Outreach Coordinator here at IJ. New face, so I'll be seeing a lot of you more, especially in these meetings. So yeah, just super excited. Just a few housekeeping things before we get started. I did want to let everyone know that this call is being recorded. So we just encourage folks to stay muted, but they can use the chat box for any questions, comments, or anything that they want to throughout the entirety of this meeting. Also, if you're a first timer, welcome. We're excited to have you. Feel free to also use the chat to let us know how you heard about IJ, and also just what brought you here. Also, for those who are first timers, to become an official member of IJ, you can use our tiny URL link to sign up. When you sign up, you'll be able to receive monthly newsletters, official announcements, and our quarterly digital newsletter. Thank you, Adriana. She just popped that in the chat. And yeah, just before we get started, another reminder to stay muted. This will just help with background noise, and we encourage everyone to use the chat whenever they want. So we'll just hop into, if anyone doesn't have any questions, we can hop into reviewing the agenda and then we'll get started. So today we're gonna start off with a little grounding video just to get started in the new year, refresh, and then we're gonna hear a little bit of organizational updates. And then the bulk of today will just be taking a look at 2024. You'll be able to hear from each department at IJ and what they have in store for 2024 in terms of their goals and priorities. And then we'll just close out with a short little debrief question and everyone can go on with their evening. So let's get started. Like I said, we're going to do grounding. So we just want to take a few minutes to refocus, reconnect, and stay present this evening. So we thought it'd be nice to kick it off by engaging in just a 5-minute grounding exercise. Throughout the grounding exercise, folks can be on or off camera, whatever you're comfortable with, and you can participate or not, however you would like to. So I'm going to pass that to Adriana to share the grounding exercise video.
Awesome. Thank you, Brianna. And I am queuing that up right now. And just a little bit of context for those that have been in spaces before when we've done grounding, and for those that might be new as well. So in the past, we used to do a 5-minute grounding exercise at the beginning of each member meeting. Historically, these sessions were led by one of our outside organizers and our previous healing facilitator, Oka. For today, we have a mindfulness video that we found on YouTube, since Oka is unable to be here this evening. But we have this nice little video. It's about 6 minutes, and it is just a 5-minute like mindfulness meditation. So it's very, very similar to what Oka has done for us in the past. For those of you who are new into the space, if you're unfamiliar with mindfulness meditation, what you are going to be hearing and seeing on your screen is really just a video from YouTube. And if folks are interested, I can definitely share the link after. But you're going to hear soft music and you're going to have somebody guiding you through a breathing exercise. So if that's your thing, definitely join in. If not, totally okay. And as Brianna said, feel free to either remain on camera or off camera. It is completely up to you. I am going to share my screen. And don't forget to share this out. Alrighty. Here we go, folks.
Thank you for joining me for today's practice. Let's take a comfortable seat, perhaps with a cushion or block to elevate your hips. Allow yourself these first few moments to settle in, making any necessary adjustments. Once you're ready, gently close down your eyes. Start to notice your breathing, gently deepening and slowing down your breath. Take a deep inhale through the nose and out through your mouth. Once more, just like that. Deep inhale through the nose and out through your mouth. Allow your face to soften, releasing the jaw, the shoulders, and allow the crown of the head to lift up towards the sky as you ground down through your seat. Sensing the length along the entire spinal column. Begin to notice the breathing coming in and out of the nose. Perhaps sensing the coolness of the breath as you inhale and the slight warmth of the breath as you exhale. Allow the breath to be as it needs to be. Some breaths might be long, some might be short. One breath gently cascading into the next. Imagine your mind to be as spacious as a vast, open, clear sky. And any thoughts, sensations, or feelings that arise are like clouds that simply pass through. Observe and recognize them, but no need to engage or respond. Creating the space for whatever needs to be present to be here. Notice the space that you have created and continue to lightly follow your breathing. Place your left hand over the center of your chest and then your right hand on top of the left. You may feel the grounding sensation of the hands on your chest and allow the breath to softly deepen into that space. With each exhale, softening and letting go. Three more breaths, just like that. Inhaling into your hands, and as you exhale, letting go. Allow your hands to release down by your side onto your thighs. And when you're ready, gently blink open the eyes.
All right. When folks are ready, they can definitely unmute, not unmute, excuse me, don't unmute. When folks are ready, you can definitely come back into the space, turn your camera on. Don't laugh at me, Crystal. You can come back into the space, turn your cameras on, or just give us a thumbs up and let us know that you're here. So just offer a little bit more context. Last year, we had a lot of feedback from folks in the community that they really missed that part of the member meeting, our grounding exercises and things like that. So it is something that we are very intentionally bringing back this year. As I said, it may be one of these lovely grounding videos with some sort of beach music or whatever, or we may have Oka come back and be in space for a few meetings and lead grounding exercises and things like that. But really wanted to start the year off right in a positive way, and just take a moment to pause and reflect and breathe. Because I think the year, it's already the 10th. And we as a team are already like, it's already moving so fast. There's already so much going on, so much to do. So it's important to just stop and take a breath and smell the roses every once in a while. So thanks y'all for indulging us there. Um, so next on the agenda is to get into our organizational updates. And we don't have a lot before we get into sharing out all of our goals for the year. And really excited, shout out to all of the staff that are here, because you'll also get to hear from them as they share what's going on in their particular departments as well. So I am going to share my screen again. And we have a little presentation for y'all this evening. And yes, I see. Happy Gregorian New Year, everyone. Hi, Jira. I'm so glad you made it to a meeting. Welcome. As Brianna said earlier in the opening, tonight is all about sharing our 2024 goals and our priorities. And also we have maybe a question for y'all. So Brianna did the agenda review. I'm just going to go through it again really, really quickly and briefly. So we just did the grounding exercise. Next, we're going to get into some of our more internal updates or updates that are more outward facing. And then we will get into our department share outs, talking about our 2024 goals. And then we would love to hear from you all on, after everything you've heard from us, on maybe what you're most excited for in 2024 as it relates to our work. So just to start off with some updates, and as always, feel free to utilize the chat, and then we'll definitely pause throughout and address questions and things like that, and then we'll have time at the end as well. So just really quickly, just for some updates. So many of you have been in space with Initiate Justice for many, many years. And again, I always forget to introduce myself in case anybody is new to the space. My name is Adriana Griffith. I am the statewide advocacy manager here at IJ. And so, like I was saying, for many of you, been with IJ for a few years now, and we've always called this space, this monthly meeting space, our monthly member meetings. And so over the years, we've changed it and it's become our general monthly member meeting. But we are changing the name just to make it a little bit more inclusive. We are changing it from monthly member meetings to monthly community meetings. And there's a few reasons why we are doing this. One, we want to make sure that all community members feel welcome into this space, whether or not they have signed up to be a member of IJ by getting our newsletter, or if they've gone through the Institute of Impacted Leaders and become an outside organizer. We want everybody to feel like they are welcome here. And we really wanted to make sure that our extended community and folks that didn't know about IJ maybe knew that, hey, this is a community space, maybe I can attend that. And also we wanted to distinguish our monthly meeting spaces from Initiate Justice Action's monthly meeting spaces. So for those of you who may know, Initiate Justice Action is the 501c4, our sister organization, their 501c4. They also have monthly meetings. Their monthly meetings are general member meeting or general monthly meetings. And so, oop, somebody unmute. You can stay muted. That would be great, just so we don't have that cross feedback. Thank you. But again, we really wanted to distinguish that from Initiate Justice Action and Initiate Justice. And we also just want the general public to not get confused, right? And so if you're showing up at an Initiate Justice space, an Initiate Justice monthly meeting, you know that you're in the right place because it's a community meeting. If you're going to Initiate Justice Action meeting, you know that you're in the right place because it's a general monthly meeting. And so we really wanted to just make sure that we have that distinction in our public facing social media, website, all of that. And then also our meetings are still going to be on the first Wednesday of the month. This meeting is taking place on the second Wednesday of January, only because we were out of the office last week, and this is our first week back in the office. So other than that, unless it's otherwise noted anywhere, like on social media or on our calendar on the website, our monthly meetings will always be on the first Wednesday of the month. We also want to do a little bit of clarification around our committee structure. So last year, we started a new committee structure where we had 2 committees instead of 5, and we named them Community Action Committee and our Volunteer Committee. And so this year, our Community Action Committee is still going to be on the first Wednesday of every month. This space is going to be intentionally for the IJ community to engage in activities with the ultimate goal of influencing IJ's policy work around ending incarceration. So we're getting a lot more intentional with the Community Action Committee this year. We're going to be planning activities and different themes where folks can come into that space and really work on something. So that way it influences our policy decisions in the future. We want to hear from you. And so we are curating that space to really make it a welcoming space for anybody from the IJ community, whether you are a member, an outside organizer, or you're just hearing about us for the first time, that you will be able to come into that space and get your voice heard, share your ideas, share your opinions, and things of that nature. Our volunteer committee.
Nobel Prize winner, you're a Nobel.
Let me go ahead and mute that person. Thank you. Our volunteer committee will meet on an as-needed basis this year. And so similar to last year, our volunteer committee is going to be all about supporting our programs and departments with things like mail nights, data entry, etc. And so it's going to be on an as-needed basis this year, so that as volunteer opportunities come up, like I said, mail nights, data entry, scanning surveys, all those types of things, we will let you know ahead of time via social media, through the newsletter, through the monthly recap emails, all of that. So make sure if you're not signed up to our newsletter, or if you're not signed up for our mailing list, that you get signed up so that you can be notified of when those meetings will be taking place. But similar to last year, it will be all about supporting our inside programs and departments, making sure that our inside members and inside organizers are educated and getting all of the things that they need as well. Any questions about changes to the name of the monthly meeting or committees this year? No committees this month. They'll start next month in February, but any questions?
Any votazioni?
Ci sto comodo.
E poi te guardi la dove
Anna, do you have a question? Oh, okay. All right, not seeing any questions, nothing in the chat. So I will pass it back over to you, Brianna, to get us started with our department share outs for the year.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adriana. So yeah, like I stated before, we're just going to do a few little share outs from each department, just stating our 2024 goals and priorities. So I'm going to be speaking on behalf of outside membership, since that is the department that I will be working with, but also huge shout out to Adriana, who also helped me a lot with these goals and just helped me to think about like what we could do. So also taking into account of what our members want. So the first one being to organize and host a series of in-person events for members in general community. We want these events to take place all over. So LA, the Bay Area, and the Central region. So we're going to try to be in different areas so our members have the opportunity to engage in these in-person events. Our next goal / priority would be to engage our members in legislative advocacy via a lobby day. We would work closely with our policy team, or we are working closely with our policy team as they're preparing their policy package for the year and just really wanting to make this happen. So stay tuned on this one. We will keep you all posted. And then the last one is just to continue to conduct outreach, whether it be presentations, paneling events, tabling events, just wanting to get like a broader reach, be in more spaces. Even if our members have ideas of where we can do more outreach, let us know because we want to be all over. And that's about it for outside membership. So I'm going to pass it back to Adriana for outside organizing.
I can never find my mute button when I'm sharing my screen. Thanks, Brianna. I appreciate that. Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Brianna said about the outreaches, if you're in a part of California where maybe we haven't been yet or where we haven't been a lot and you want to see more of us in the community at these different outreach events and things like that, like I know out here in Stockton, they do AB 109 has tattoo removal events all the time. And so if you know events like that is like IJ should be here, please reach out, let myself or Brianna know so that we can make contact with the right folks and get in spaces. But next for outside organizing. And so the outside organizing side of our department is where we house all of our stuff with our outside organizers. So this is our Institute of Impacted Leaders program, where folks who graduate from that program become alumni or outside organizers and things like that. So I see a few of you here on the call today. So it's good to see y'all in space. Happy New Year. But for outside organizing, many of you know that every year we do 2 cohorts of the Institute of Impacted Leaders. And so we pick locations and we do 2 cohorts throughout California. Historically, over the last 3 years since COVID, we have been mostly online. So we have done the past, 3 years of cohorts on Zoom. And so we are intentionally making the change and making the decision to update our curriculum and bring things back to being more of an in-person cohort. And so probably most likely start off with a hybrid setting, but the ultimate goal is to bring the Institute of Impacted Leaders back to being in person and not solely just on Zoom. So we'll be updating logistics, times, dates, etc. So exploring different options on what other times might work for folks. Also incorporating a lot of feedback from past participants. And so trying to incorporate breaks into the curriculum, all types of stuff. Also going to be conducting power building sessions for outside organizers as well. So again, these are graduates of the Institute of Impacted Leaders. These are educational sessions with the goal of connecting outside organizers to more movement work throughout the state, as well as increasing their skills around legislative advocacy and policy work. So we're going to be doing about 9 sessions this year. Really excited. If you are an outside organizer on the call, make sure you stay tuned to your emails because I'll be sending out more information about that very soon and what you can expect this year in terms of power building sessions. Also, we're going to be working more doing collaborations and partnerships with other organizations to continue advocating for policy change through direct action. So this means legislative visits, which we also involve our members in and just IJ community in general. So even if you aren't an outside organizer, still a chance that you can participate in a legislative visit. Also, as Brianna mentioned, lobby days is something that we are wanting to do, at least one this year. And that, again, is something that both organizers and members can take advantage of and join in, as well as many, many more steps. So there's going to be lots to do. Our policy team is always working hard. And as we speak, they're working hard to develop our 2024 bill package. And so I'm sure there will be more to come and more organizing efforts around those. So stay tuned to emails, stay tuned to all the emails that come from IJ on the listserv, things like that. And again, if you are not yet signed up for our newsletter, digital newsletter, or our email recaps, definitely sign up at tinyurl.com/join IJ so you do not miss a beat. That is all I have in terms of what to expect and what our goals are for this year with outside organizing. But again, if there are any questions, definitely let me know. You can drop it in the chat, or I'll drop my email into the chat too. You can always reach out to me via email. And that's being said, if there are no questions, I am going to pass it over to Lee for our inside organizing. Take it away, Lee.
What is up? Good evening, my social justice warriors. You know I'm going to come in here. I missed all of you. I see some familiar faces, and it's good to see the staff again. Crispy, Gabriel, thanks for having the camera on. Larry, love seeing you two here in these spaces. Inside organizing this year, we have some lofty goals, some plans. We want to conduct 15 inside workshops and events this year. Currently, we have 2 scheduled in January, 2 in February, so we're off to a really good start. We're also going to increase our IJAGs. For those that don't know, IJAG stands for Initiate Justice Activity Group, and those happen inside where folks like us are training people inside around civic engagement, around the curriculum, making sure that they're informed about person-centered language, intersectionality, how the legislative process works, and making sure that they're getting involved in all of the stuff that we're doing. So we're super excited. We have 2 new places that are going to be opening up on the IJAGs, hopefully with CCWF and Sacramento, New Folsom. We're super excited to get inside of those institutions. We're also going to update our IO curriculum. There's some old photos in there and some old laws that we passed. We want to just update everything, get it all fresh, get it new. We're also increasing the paroling IOs enrollment into the Institute of Impacted Leaders. We've been working with Brianna and with Adriana to make sure that people have a seamless route into our community and that they're able to join and learn and how they can get involved out here. We're also looking to expand the IO and policy bill proposal project, which is where folks inside are actually drafting bills that we hopefully can get some authors to carry on, and some assembly people or some senators to be able to carry those bills. So we want bills drafted by folks that are currently incarcerated to show that they do belong in our politics, they do belong in civic engagement from inside reaching outside, and also to be able to express their personal needs and wants. And other than that, we're looking to get more IO's voices guiding the narratives via audio surveys, position letters. I know we're working with some of the other team members to be able to do that. And we're looking forward to being able to bring more of their voices, more of their words, more of their opinions out here into the things that we're working on, into the proposals, or into the narratives, to be able to beat some of these things that are coming down the pipe from Sacramento with some of the legislators, but also to be able to reinforce and support some of the things that we're doing, or some of our sister organizations are working on. So that's pretty much for inside organizing. That's what we're focusing in on this year, and making sure that we can continue to carry their voices out here and making sure that they're heard by everybody. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Adriana. If anybody needs to hit me up, they obviously can at lee@initiatejustice.org via email. I'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. Please bear in mind, we were off for a few weeks, so I have a ton of emails that I'm catching up on. I see some of the staff smiling because they know they've also have a ton of them that they're catching up on. But yeah, we're back in it. We're back in the swing of things, and we're looking forward to being able to serve you all and to be able to serve the folks that are inside. So thank you so much for having us tonight, and thank you so much for joining. Adriana, back to you.
Thanks, Lee. And before I pass it over to Inside Membership, I dropped in the chat, shout out to everybody that showed up to our last committee meeting last year and created holiday messages for the Inside organizers. It was well received. It was very much appreciated. So shout out to y'all. Even if you weren't able to join, but you were still able to get Lee a message or two or anything like that, definitely. Thank you so much. It was very much appreciated. And with that, I will pass it over to Inside Membership, Crystal and Ephraim. Or Ephraim, I don't know if you're here as staff or if you're here as you. So I'm just going to pass it to Crystal.
Thank you, Jana. Hi, everyone. My name is Crystal. My pronouns are she, her, and I am the Inside Membership Manager. I will pass it to Efrain to introduce himself.
Hey everyone, good to be in space with you all again. My name is Efrain Ortiz. My pronouns are he and him. I'm excited to be here with you all. I'm the Inside Programs Associate working directly with Crystal in Inside Membership Department.
We have a lot of mini goals this year, but the three big ones we wanted to share with y'all are listed here. The first one is that we want to continue to educate, empower, and engage Inside members throughout the journal with the most up-to-date information. Efrain, for those who don't know what the journal is, can you please let them know while I drop it in the chat?
So if for those of you that are new here and don't know, we send in 4 journals. We send in the journal 4 times a year inside the institution. We have matched it up and lined it up with our legislative process so that when bills are passing certain steps, they get the most updated information as soon as possible. So we send that in. In it also, we also share with them other information, things like intersectionality, other events that we might be doing up out here, connecting them to our outside organizers. But yeah, it's just a way to keep them informed. If you haven't checked it out, Crystal linked it there. Please do so. Every time we send it into them, we also post it on our website right after. So you guys can see it at the same time if you have loved ones currently inside, and talk about it. So it's a little bit about the Inside Journal. I'll pass it back to you, Crystal.
Thank you. And if your loved one has asked about the 2024 journals, it will be on its way mid to late February, and it'll reach them the first 2 weeks of March. Michelle's smiling because I'm trying to get that message out everywhere before I start getting a bunch of them asking what happened to it. The second one that we wanted to share with y'all is that we want to implement ways to include inside members' voices and narratives as part of our advocacy and culture shifting efforts at IJ. As Lee mentioned, we know that changing the narrative when it comes to being impacted by incarceration is going to be very important in order to gain freedom. So Efrain and I and the team have been brainstorming ways in which we can do that, work through the barriers of being incarcerated and uplift their voices and narratives out here. So that is something kind of new that we're going to tackle. We started that a little bit last year with testimonies that we put on the website and audiograms. Efrain, I'm going to ping pong it back to you again to talk a little bit about that while I drop that in the chat.
Yeah, we're always just looking for more creative ways really to uplift their voices, finding new ways to connect the outside audience to the inside members. So again, like as Crystal mentioned, we're working something we've done in the past as we have the letters on the website from people inside, but we also want to find newer ways of like doing audiograms and things of that nature. So looking to connect you all with them, but Crystal did drop in the chat the testimonies that we do have there. In this past year, we did a couple in which were narrated, letters that were narrated from our inside members. And again, it's just a way to connect them to you all and build those connections.
Thank you, Efrain. And the last one, and this is one we'll probably reach out to the community about in one of our committee meetings, is that we want to implement new and creative ways to use the artwork we have received from incarcerated members, also to support our advocacy and culture shifting works. We are so grateful for all of the art that we have received from inside members. I think the last time we counted, we easily had like over 120 artists and like almost 200 pieces of art. And we did the gallery 2 years in a row, but that was 17 artists. So while we have this art, we want to find more creative ways to use it in order to help with the narrative shift and uplift them on the outside. So if you don't know what the art gallery is, I'm going to ping pong it to Efrain and drop that in the chat as well so you can check it out.
Thank you, Crystal. Yes, the art gallery was a vision when I first came on, that it was just an idea that was created with Crystal and some of the Inside Membership Committee, which is the committees that we had back then. And we made it come into fruition in 2022 because of the COVID and all that. We had to do it virtually, but it was still a great way to really highlight the beautiful art that is created inside and really uplift the artists themselves. The first year we featured 11 artists. Last year in 2023, we featured 6 artists, and we were able to actually do audiograms. So really, again, building on the connection and really hearing their voices and them sharing their why they created that art, what that art meant to them from their perspective was very, very powerful for the community to hear. And then also Crystal dropped the art gallery there, but I really do want to shout out anybody that has watched it. If you haven't watched it, please check it out. And anybody that has supported these artists throughout the journey, thank you so much. But I'll pass it back to Crystal.
And just thank you, everyone. We look forward to collaborating with you all to accomplish our 2024 goals. Pass it back to you, Adriana and Brianna.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Inside Membership. Oh, and thank you for dropping your emails and stuff in the chat as well. I'm excited to see what's coming from Inside Membership this year, as always, especially as it relates around art and stuff like that. So I'm totally down can't wait to kind of collaborate as a team also and try to figure out these new and exciting ways to uplift our Inside members' voices. Next is communications, aka comms. And with that, I am going to pass it over to Michelle.
Thank you, Adriana. Hi, everybody. My name is Michelle Cardenas. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the comms manager here at Initiate Justice. So for this year, I have very ambitious goals. As y'all know, it's just me on the comms team. But one of the biggest ones is that we are hoping to release season 4 of Abolitionist for Everybody, our podcast, very soon. And we actually took a lot of feedback from our listeners this time around. And one thing that we heard often was that they wanted more of those like personal lived experiences of those impacted by incarceration. And so I'm happy to let y'all know that that is something that we're definitely going to be doing this next season. Season 3 was a little bit more technical. It was, people who were more like had textbook knowledge about incarceration. I don't know how else to describe it, but we all know those lived experiences is what really shifts the narrative. And so we're bringing those back. I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about the parole board process, about enhancements, things like that. So really excited. Don't want to give too much away. It's all in the works. Something else that we're also going to be working on is revamping our website. So we are hoping to completely transform our website because we've had it for quite a few years now. It has a lot of back-end bugs. And so we really want it to, reflect our work now in 2024. We're going to brighten it up. We also really want to just increase the visibility of it. Also the accessibility of it, build a better user experience. We've had some feedback in the past. It's like, I can't find this and where do I go and find that? So all of that will be handled. If y'all have any suggestions that y'all would like to give us, you can always email me, comms@initiatejustice.org, and let us know something that you would like to see. Also, another big one, which is just the gist of my work, is I will continue to center those who are impacted by incarceration and making sure that folks like us are in the day-to-day conversations. Folks, the general media doesn't really get to hear about people who are actually impacted by incarceration. So I really want to work on getting more op-eds out, perhaps, something we've never done in the past, more short form videos that's very popular right now. So I'm really, really excited. I think it'll be a lot of fun and I might need some help from y'all in the community. So I'll be reaching out, but other than that, that's really, really all I had. Thank you all so much for listening to me today.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Michelle. Really quickly, there is, oh, I think Brianna's got it. Can you flag that question for her, Brianna? There's a question in the chat.
I just responded to it.
Oh, okay.
Somebody asked about the
Thank you.
shop, and the IJ shop is ran by 3 people. So due to staff capacity, we decided it was best to like close it during the holidays. And we got back on Monday. We're gonna meet soon to like discuss when to open it again. So as soon as we do, we'll let you all know. Thank you for your support.
Stay tuned on the swag merch for sure. The next and final department sort of goals is going to be policy. Our policy team could not be here this evening, unfortunately. Again, they're super busy trying to get our 2024 package together, and we absolutely understand. So I will be sharing our policies goals this evening, and then if there are any specific questions that you have in terms of our policies or our policy goals for the year, definitely will drop Greg and Sarah's information in the chat so that you can reach out to them. But for policy, the goals this year are to pass our remaining 2-year bills. So last year we did have a bill package. We passed some bills and 3 of our bills got held over as 2-year bills. So they will continue this year. And that is AB 544 by Assemblymember Isaac Bryan, and that is for voting in jails. And then we also have AB 1186 by Nia Bonta, Assemblymember Bonta, with youth restitution, as well as ACA 4 by Assemblymember Isaac Bryan, voting rights for people in prison. And so that is our big one. We talked about it last year. We did a lobby day for it last year. And so stay tuned for more exciting information on ACA 4 as well as these other 3 bills. Policy team is also looking at passing 3 or 4 new bills related to the following issue areas. So bills related to Racial Justice Act data collection. So for many of you who know or who don't know, a couple years ago, we were able to pass the Racial Justice Act, the Racial Justice Act 2.0, and the Racial Justice Act 3.0. And so all of that, really great bills, a really great solid bill package in the Racial Justice Act gives people who are currently incarcerated or just going through the court process a lot of power when it comes to combating racism in the courts and just in the criminal justice space in general. And so they're going to be looking at expanding on the Racial Justice Act, but in the form of data collection bills. So just making sure that, you know, somebody's collecting the data and that it's going somewhere and it's being used to further the movement. Also BPH reform, so Board of Parole hearings reform. It's always a hot topic, and the policy team is always doing such hard work to try to get some momentum going when it comes to changing how the Board of Parole hearings work and operate. Also, more restorative justice bills, as well as sentencing reform and resentencing procedures. So these are bill ideas. Many of them have come from our inside organizers, inside members. And so we want to communicate that these aren't set in stone, but these are areas that the policy team is looking at to do bills. So the policy team will actually be presenting the bill package in March's monthly meeting. So definitely stay tuned and make sure you RSVP for our March community monthly community meeting so that you don't miss a beat and that you're able to hear from policy what all of the new bills will be, and you'll be able to get your questions answered. Also, policy will be working closely with the IO Bill Proposal Group. So the Inside Organizer Bill Proposal Group, as Lee mentioned, crafting bill ideas related to reentry, education, as well as restitution. Also, playing defense this year and holding the line on a lot of bad bills. And so many of you may have heard already at the tail end of last year and as this year kicked off, but we're expecting dozens of bad bills this year related to theft, shoplifting, the war on drugs, 3 strikes. It's, to be quite frank and to be a little bit blunt, it's going to be a rough year for criminal justice reform. We've had some really, really good momentum in the last couple of years. And so it's gonna be a little bit rough this year, but we're holding the line. And we're not backing down, we're not letting up, we're keeping our foot on their necks. And we're going to continue to be loud and proud until they hear us, and that we make real change. And so, again, stay tuned, stay plugged into us this year, because this is the year that we really will need all of y'all's support, with all of the bills that we are going to run, as well as folks in the greater movement of criminal justice reform in general, or for anybody working towards social justice. And so definitely, again, stay plugged in, stay tuned. But we're going to be holding the line. Policy is going to be holding the line, as well as each and every one of us as well. So that is all of our department goals for the year. Thank you, Brianna, for dropping Greg and Sarah's emails into the chat. Really appreciate it. Yeah, these are our goals for the year. Are there any questions before we transition into the next piece on any of these goals? Anything at all? Any changes? Are there any questions that folks have? I love it. That means everything was explained well. That means everyone understands. Or we're all just tired and ready to go. No, just kidding. But no, I'm glad that there's no questions. People are probably just stewing, processing, so that's totally okay. Brianna, I am going to pass it over to you to lead us into this next piece.
Awesome. Thank you. And thank you so much to the team for coming and joining us tonight and sharing their goals and priorities. I really appreciate it. It makes me super excited this year to collaborate with you all and to just continue this really important, crucial work. So I appreciate all of you so much. And for the questions too, if any questions come up in the future, you have all of our emails in the chat, so feel free to reach out. But we just wanted to kind of close out tonight and hear from you all. Just kind of looking forward into the new year, and just seeing what you all are most looking forward to and hoping to see IJ accomplish in 2024, or besides IJ accomplishing, maybe just seeing IJ do, or spaces that they will be in. So yeah, just kind of seeing what everyone's excited about.
Yes, and I'm gonna cannonball it because I have some things I'm excited about. I'm really excited to see the Institute of Impacted Leaders transition back to being more in person. Even if it starts off as a hybrid setting at first, I'm just really excited for us to make that move. I feel like it's going to connect us more with community, and also allow us to probably be in new spaces ourselves. So I'm just really excited and looking forward to IJ accomplishing that. Also, as always, passing all of our bills. That's it. And whoever wants to go next, feel free to come off mute, or share in the chat. I see Delphina said, I'm looking forward to the power building sessions this year. Yes, I love it. Anybody else looking forward to anything? There's a lot going on that we have planned this year. Lobby days and outreaches and in-person events. Like, what are y'all excited for?
Hello, this is Ajira. My pronouns are they, she. I am very excited to be here first and foremost, and to be involved and take action support on this side being the non-student side of this work with Jay. And I also want to just shout out, I know folks are tired of Zoom, but it makes it so accessible. And I, for one, am really grateful for that, and hope that hybrid continues to be an option that's available for folks like me who are immunocompromised or disabled or have some other limitation that makes meeting in person with folks difficult. And I feel just as connected with y'all, even if I'm not breathing in your deadly air. So COVID is still a thing, y'all.
Ajira. I missed it, Jill. They're always just a pleasure.
Miss you too. So happy to see your face.
Yes, and thank you also just for the transparency, right? And the honesty and the vulnerability of just like you acknowledging like, yes, we're all tired of Zoom, but you know, hope you're hoping and looking forward that IJ keeps that hybrid piece, so that it's accessible for folks that are immunocompromised or have any other limitations, right? And so I think that's really important. And so thank you for uplifting that and continuing to advocate for folks in that space.
Hi, everybody. My name's Karen, and I'm super excited to do what I can. I was able to get my son out of prison on 2012-23-23 without a lawyer, and super excited to share that journey. And now we're on a new journey, but I still want to get back, and I still want to do what I can to help educate the community about mass incarceration and what my son's going through from a reentry process and lack of technology experience. And there's a lot of things out there that we need to do. And I'm definitely want to be in Sacramento when I can, to let these politicians know that they need to start doing stuff on the inside for these individuals that really deserve attention in all aspects. Besides, and besides that, I'm excited to do what I can. It's I'm just all about giving back. I have such gratitude and I'm so grateful for bills that are passed and resentencing bills that are passed and all the hard work you guys do. You don't have to do this and you choose to do it. It's very, very powerful for me to continue this support. I've jumped around in so many different nonprofit organizations over the years. And so I find that you guys are the most organized. So I definitely want to be here for anyone who is interested in anything that has to do with resentencing, and supporting your loved ones on getting out without a lawyer.
Before you go, Gabe, I see you. I see your hand. I just want to again echo the sentiments of congratulations to you, Karen, and your son. Lots of also congratulations and just loving messages to you into the chat. So definitely take a look at those when you have a moment. But that's absolutely incredible. I saw somebody in the chat say that stories like that give us hope, right? Gives people hope that they too can do those things. And so thank you so much for sharing in this space, and definitely looking forward to seeing you again in space, both virtually and in person. So, and again, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, and welcome home to your son too. And you said 12/23, right? Like right before Christmas, yeah?
Right. His favorite
Yeah.
number is 23 because it's Michael Jordan since he
I
was
love
4 years old. And he always said he was going to get out in 2023. It was just something he felt, and it actually happened on 12/23/23. So
That's amazing. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all of
right.
those, all of that
Thank
stuff.
you.
So congratulations.
Thanks.
I'm gonna pass it over to you, Gabe, and then Larry, I saw your hand, so I'll give it to you after Gabe's done. Go ahead, Gabe.
Hey, thank you. So since now I'm officially off parole and today I just got my license, I'm very excited about going back behind the prisons and help IJ to whatever they want as your presentation. So for 2024, count me in whatever y'all need. And your presentation was amazing tonight. Thank you. And Karen, congratulations on what you just shared. We're super excited for you, and that's super awesome. Thank you.
Adriana, I have a question. The policy is really where the rubber meets the road with IJ, and I was wondering, are we going to be hearing from Greg and Sarah about what's going on with the bills and what bills we're going to be presenting this year? Will we have guests like Ash Kalra, and Rob Bonta, they're really great guests we've had during the year.
Yeah, no, I appreciate your question, Larry. Yeah, they're all great questions. You'll definitely hear from policy soon. I think I mentioned it earlier. I might have forgotten, so I apologize if I didn't mention it. They will actually be here for our March monthly meeting to present the policy package the first Wednesday of March. And then me and Brianna have steadily been building out the topics and agendas and trying to identify guest speakers and things like that for the entire year. So we're getting ahead of planning and things like that. So you can definitely expect to hear from guest speakers. You're not just going to hear from us all year long like normally. But we definitely heard what folks said in terms of feedback last year too, by wanting to hear from more guest speakers too, and other folks in the policy space and elected leaders and things like that. So we're definitely going to have folks in space. So for sure, I can't tell you who yet because they go where they want to when it comes to elected officials, but we're definitely going to try to at least invite folks to either be here as guest speakers or at the very least just be in space with us. But thank you so much for that question, Larry. Appreciate it. And policy is where the rubber meets the road. I saw Tim's hand and then Sergio and Carmen.
Hey everyone, it's been really good learning about this organization for the last few months. This is my first time on this call. I personally work in electoral politics. I'm currently managing several campaigns. I know this is a C3 space, but I'm just generally wanting to help you all in any fashion. I know that the messaging on public safety is going to be really difficult this year, and I'm excited to do my part just to kind of uplift these stories. So I think the best thing I'm looking forward to is just learning more about each of you personally and learning how these stories are, what's going on in the jails, what's going on in the prisons, because it helps people like me develop our messaging as well. And we're trying to highlight what's been going on. So I thank you all for this work, and regardless of how this year goes, I really want to be involved long-term with you all.
Thank you so much, Tim, for that. I'm dropping my email in the chat again. So welcome into the space officially. We hope to see you around here more often, but definitely connect with me, and I'm happy to connect you with the rest of my team members, my colleagues, or our executive director of the policy team, whomever you would like to be connected to, for sure. And thank you for your support. We really, really appreciate it. And then Sergio and Carmen, go ahead. What are y'all most looking forward to seeing from IJ in 2024?
We're just grateful and thankful for having us in this space, and we want to congratulate Karen on her son being released as the Christmas present, and also on Gabriel being released from parole. Congratulations. I know that these bills that are coming up this year are kind of like some real bad bills, but there's also one bill in particular that I'm kind of like more interested in. I want to email you about that. I don't remember what is the bill is, but it's gonna be coming up for this for my type of situation, case factors for these groups and stuff like that. So I want to know more of that. So I'll be emailing you this week about that as well.
Yes, email me and we'll talk for sure.
Okay, that's all. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Sergio, so much. Thank you. All right. I see something else in the chat. Oh, it's just from Ephraim. More welcomes for Tim. Welcome, Tim. But is anybody else feeling called or led to share maybe what they're looking forward to, what they're hoping to see from IJ? Or even if we want to go off the cuff, right? But just what are you most looking forward to getting out of 2024 period, right? Even if it doesn't have anything to do with Initiate Justice per se, but maybe you have set a really personal goal for yourself in terms of maybe it's advocacy, or maybe like Gabe, he got his license, right? Or, other personal milestones. Maybe you have a loved one returning this year. But yeah, what are some other things that folks are looking forward to seeing happen this year in 2024?
So Laura in the chat was asking if there's any other ways that we could recommend to just stay more involved and to just keep learning.
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And so on one hand, if you're asking about how to stay more involved with IJ, just keep coming and plugging in, respond to the emails and things of that nature, join calls to action, whatever we send out. But just in regards to just in general, like this policy advocacy space. And so Laura, you're an outside organizer. And so For outside organizers, we do send out opportunity emails to y'all a couple of times a month. So paying attention to those emails, seeing what opportunities exist in your region, whether it might be employment, fellowships, internships, webinars, workshops, whatever that might be. And then for those that maybe aren't outside organizers that don't get these specific emails, but really encourage you, if you're on social media, to go into IJ's social media and see who we're following and see who's following us, the different social organizations that are out there, and just start following them on their social medias, checking out their websites and seeing what they have. A lot of different organizations do fellowships, do internships, do different types of things like that throughout the year. And those are really great ways of just staying involved in the space and also learning more. And so again, fellowships are a great way to learn more. They're really professionally driven, but you learn so much. I did a year-long fellowship a couple of years ago, and it was absolutely life-changing. So just keep plugging in, keep plugging in, keep coming. We might have a guest speaker that is offering a fellowship or something like that, or just more learning opportunities as we bring in more guest speakers into our spaces. So yeah, just keep showing up, and guaranteed you'll walk away with a little bit of something extra than what you came with, for sure. All righty, good question. Anybody else? You're welcome. Anybody else? Any of my staff? Well, not my staff, because y'all don't work for me, but any staff that are on the call have anything they're looking forward to in 2024 as it relates to either your own personal like work goals here for your department or just in general? Let's see. I'm turning 36 this year, so I'm looking forward to that. Oh my God. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to a good year. The motto I've been hearing from family and just out in the community is like more in 2024, right? And so as we're going into 2024, we want to get more out of this year, right? So more policy knowledge, right? Or more advocacy tools, or more whatever it is, right? Maybe you want to level up in your job and make more money so you can go on more vacations, right? I know I want to go on more vacations and take more trips. And so the motto is more in 2024. So whatever you want more of, go out and get it, right? Knowledge is definitely power, Delphina. Go out and get more of that knowledge. You can never have too much. You can never have too much. Nobody can ever pull the wool over your eyes because you know everything. But yeah, I thank y'all for showing up. I'm not gonna pull out teeth to make y'all tell me what you want to see this year. But I thank y'all for showing up, and for those of you that shared, whether it was in the chat or if you came off mute, really, really appreciate it. That is the end of our presentation this evening, y'all. And it's 7:35, and so I'm not mad at that. But typically these meetings do go to 8 p.m. But if we are all in agreement that we are done for the evening, I do not have a problem with giving y'all back 30 minutes of your evening. But again, thank you so much. Me and Brianna will hang out in this space for a few minutes. But if folks are more than welcome to log out, go on with the rest of your evening. We really appreciate you. Happy New Year. We can't wait to see what all of y'all accomplished this year. And we can't wait to see IJ accomplish some things this year too. So thank y'all so much. And
Thank you,
yeah, I'm
everyone.
seeing lots of months. Let's kill it this year. We definitely will, Anna. For sure. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all as always. Sergio, Carmen, do you still have a question, or is your hand still right?
Yes. No. So these meetings are monthly, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So
And
we do them on the
IG
first
have any other
Wednesday of every
meetings
month.
or no?
I'm sorry, go ahead. One more time.
Does IG have any other meetings besides this monthly meeting?
This month, no. So this
Okay.
month is our only meeting, and then starting in February, we will come back with our monthly meeting, and then we'll have our committee meetings. And then for you, since you're an outside organizer, you and Carmen will also have the power building session starting in February as well.
Okay.
So
All
yeah,
right. Thank you
January
so
is kind
much.
of like, let's get back into the swing of things. And then February, we start.
It's the kickoff. Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much.
See you.
Thank y'all
Talk to
so
you soon.
much. Talk to you
Okay.
soon too. I'll be waiting for your email.
Okay.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye-bye.